Hello, everyone. This is Callie Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for August 21st through the 27th of 2022. How's everybody doing? Our week kicks off with Vesta retrograde re-entering Aquarius, and it will be there until November 20th, when it'll go back to Pisces. This has turned into a one-year process, March 22 through February 23, which has several implications. First of all, Vesta is what is sacred, not just important or valuable, but sacred to you, the individual. She is the part of us that is completely dedicated and sometimes so focused on one thing, so much so that we forget about other parts of life. So it can be where we get extreme as well. For example, my Vesta is in Aries, so anyone who knows me knows that my independence and freedom to focus on what I want to focus on is stronger than most. Not to mention, it is conjunct my Saturn, so I take my Aries parts very seriously, and they are sacred to me. That is my North Node life path, Chiron, healing, education, and soul work, plus Vesta and Saturn. So you could see how I ended up being an independent contractor dedicated to sovereignty, healing, and education. Crazy, huh? So I say all that to say, with Vesta at the end of the zodiac lingering in Aquarius and Pisces, she is leaning on a particular area of life, asking us all to check in with those departments. Vesta is all about what is sacred to the individual. It is where we tend to focus to the exclusion of other things, so it is rather intense wherever it lives in your chart. And for this whole year, spring 22 to spring 23, it is going back and forth over the Aquarius-Pisces cusp. In Aquarius, Vesta is super focused on freedom, independence, and sovereignty, almost at the expense of deeper connections with others. In this place, she can be the ultimate humanitarian, and she can also be the true free spirit who can be intimate without the chains of commitment, demands, or expectation. Vesta in Pisces is more of a dreamer, the artist who can convey the deepest meaning through any medium of expression. In Pisces, it is easier to get carried away with your visions and dreams, and there is a tendency to need better boundaries and good systems in place so that you can determine necessary steps for manifesting those dreams. These dynamics are very different from each other, so we will experience this back and forth between feeling free and sovereign, but also of being one with all life. Ultimately, I think it will be a good review that helps us all recalibrate those very dynamics. How much freedom and how much unity and community do you need as an individual? The other thing I want to point out is that as Vesta completes her mission in Pisces, she will initiate us all in Aries come spring 2023. This back and forth is helping us get acclimated to these higher frequencies, as well as the new and different ways of expressing yourself going forward. This is a major inner completion of a 4-year cycle, and whatever you've been focused on is likely to shift dramatically in 2023. So let's prepare and tie up any loose ends of the past so that we can enjoy the next level of self-expression. Vesta is all about what is sacred to you, the individual. So in Pisces, unity, compassion, and spirituality become not just important, but sacred. It is where we focus to the exclusion of other things. So in Pisces, we may get too carried away with dreams and schemes, deluded by what we wish or hope would happen, or drown in victim consciousness. Let's not do it that way. Let's tap into the healing capacity of Pisces that helps us integrate more wholeness. It helps us make the deeper connections, and it helps us develop self-trust so that we can follow our intuition confidently. This opportunity only comes around every 4 to 5 years, and now she's made it through the whole zodiac to the culmination in Pisces. What have you been focused on the most over the last 4 to 5 years? What have you neglected within or around you? Where have you felt scattered or fragmented? This is the time when you can use the energies to integrate your own next level in a powerful way. Pisces is also where we process on an emotional level. So again, something has run its course in the last 4 to 5 years that you may finally be ready to surrender and let go. Either way, this energy is great for taking some intentional solitude in nature to down-regulate your nervous system and reconnect with your own true nature and personal rhythms so that you remember what an intricate part of actual nature that you are. Deep breath. So here are the exact dates. Vesta entered Aquarius on March 10th of this year, 2022. It entered Pisces about 2.5 months later, 5/24, May 24th. So from March to May, almost June, it was in Aquarius, kicking off all that sovereignty stuff and the individual within the context of the community and what is sacred to you, what's your unique contribution and how can you make it sacred, right? And then for the next 2 months, it moved through Pisces, waking up those dreams and connecting us back to like where we need some integration and wholeness. Retrograded in Pisces, and now it's backwards, re-entering Aquarius because it's going to go direct in Aquarius October 5th. Re-enter Pisces November 20th, and it doesn't come out of the zone until it hits Aries February 7th of 2023. So if you have Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, the Aquarius one is hitting you directly. If you have Pisces, Virgo, or Gemini, Sag, the Pisces dates will hit you stronger. Either way, for all of us up in the sky, this completion of this 4-year cycle of whatever you're focused on is evolving. And there's a huge rebirth because anything that moves to Aries helps us have a clean slate and start fresh all over. Same day on Sunday the 21st, Mercury, which is also approaching its retrograde zone, opposes Neptune. This energy requires us to balance the higher and lower mind. Some sensitive souls will feel bombarded by the energies from all sides, and it may feel like information overload and can be very stressful. The best use of this transit is meditation, not making important decisions or commitments for a week or so. And we're going to have to extend that because, like I said, Mercury is going into its retrograde zone, and the minute it comes out, Mars goes in. So actions become a little hampered as well. So we're going to have to change our mind first. Then we're going to have to rearrange our choices so that we can go forward in the new year. Communication with others can be challenged. Another reason to only communicate with your higher self or at least check in more often this week. Don't believe everything you read or hear. Allow information to flow at a comfortable pace and wait for the energy to shift before making any decisions based on the information gathered. Some will access the necessary clarity for furthering their vision. Others' vision will be blurred and just out of reach. Deep breath. So this opposition between how you're thinking and the ideas that are going on right now, and Neptune is usually illusions and delusions or boundary issues. So let's think about that. And it's micro to macro. Mercury is a personal planet, Neptune's collective. So I'm going to suggest here, before we dive into the rest, that you check out my first self-study course. I created the Mercury retrograde class, which we've done the last couple of years, 3 weeks in a row, 1 day a week. But it's gotten so hectic trying to get people to commit to something like that and to be in the same place and time. So we made it a digital download. Now you have tools and activations, meditations, and divinations for the pre-shadow, actual retrograde, and post-shadow period. So those are the 3 parts. You also get your custom Mercury retrograde activation so you can know what Mercury is triggering for you personally. And we have a special set of activations up in the sky that I did very differently, and it got super deep because I went into the ones for the pre-shadow and the post-shadow, which is vitally important and kicking off this week. So it's only $100 to get all those goodies and have access to even extra rituals and tools and things that I put in that classroom. And it's on my new teaching platform. So I'm hoping that you all start to navigate around there. So I'm going to link my private community here. Most of you know Instagram's been giving me drama. And it's not just me. I've talked to several people that haven't been able to upload videos the way they have all these years. So something's changed. I don't know what. But also for my core group, you all know I don't like chit-chatting with no third party. So this private community gives us a chance to chit-chat with each other without Instagram ads or any of the other crap that goes on there, right? It's going to be strictly our community. So you're welcome to post in there any of your ahas and awakenings and the things that you're doing with these planets and cycles and how they're moving through your life. Those are the kind of things I'd like to be posted over there. Any tools or resources that you come across. Most of my circle, I would say a good 75% of you are teacher guides and leaders of your own circles. So that is another, great feedback that I get all the time, that I help you all be better teacher leaders when you go back to your circles by holding this space for you to do your individual work, right? But anyway, check it out. Surf around the new karmic tools. I think I got all the links organized and hooked up correctly. For those of you looking to go straight to karmic tools, the key these days is the www. Because it's a teaching platform, it needs to be directed to that website for you to get to me. Unlike a real website like kellymbeard.com, that because it's got the security and all that, you can do just kellymbeard.com and that'll work without the www. But Karmic Tools will not. We absolutely have to remember to put www.karmictools.com to get there. Sorry for that little sidebar, but this is the upgrade going on and how I can express myself differently in my community and be known for something new and different. Like these self-study courses, which are going to be really fun because I can now off-road. We're going to have the free call on Mars retrograde, but I might cook up something deeper than that for people who want to do it for themselves. So let me hear from you if you're interested in something like that, and I'll get that cooking in time for our call, which is this week. But let's get back to the forecast. On Monday, the 22nd, Mercury trines Pluto for the first of 3 times during its retrograde. So this is one of the retrograde activations we need to pay attention to because it's not just a one and done. It's a process. With Mercury, we're working a process here. We're tending to our mental body 3 to 4 times per year. Not too much to ask, especially when our mental body gets such a bombardment of information daily. Okay, we can't even say, remember in my family, they used to be a big deal to read the Sunday paper. It was a big deal to check in and do that once a week. Now we do it every second of the day. So let's do some tending with Mercury in Libra Virgo. So that's, also going to make it personal for that area of life for you. So this activation makes any deep delving within easier and more fruitful. Yeah, a trine is ease and grace and blessings. But because of the back and forth, like I said, it's more of a process. It encourages you to ask the deeper questions, clarify your deeper feelings, and trust your intuitive gut feelings that are telling you something has to die so that some other aspect of your consciousness can live. Deep breath. You will want to explore your inner self, sort through recently gathered information, and try to understand better what your natural process really is. It's best to be alone for such research. Take a day or a weekend and grab your most powerful books and music and get somewhere beautiful if you can. If not, then your bedroom will do just as well, and dig deep. You are finally ready for the deeper truth, and you will be transformed by what you learn. So deep breath, think about this and how Pluto always takes us to the soul level and asks us to purify something, distill it back to its essence. With Pluto, it's always about clearing out the toxic, right? And so what has come up, and we just talked about it in the Venus Circle last night, is how we can't be fake or phony anymore. And our soul really wants to express at a higher level, and it's not going to work under certain circumstances with certain people. We're going to have to really change and rearrange. During this Mercury retrograde, we're rethinking what conscious equal partnership really is. And more than that, while it's in Virgo, we get to go deeper with what really works for us as individuals. So that's why I said, don't make any big decisions. Don't break up. Don't quit no jobs. Don't do anything crazy and big like that just yet. Allow these processes to unfold because, like it said, you're for being alone for such research, you're doing some digging right now. You're gathering information or you're becoming aware of information that was also submerged because Pluto rules the subconscious, the underworld, right? So these things that we push into shadow, and my thing, I believe in consistent, regular shadow work. No matter how often you do it, as long as you do it regularly, it usually doesn't back up on you. And if you must communicate with others, plan on that being deep as well. So best to talk to a trusted advisor or wise elder. Nothing superficial today. The only warning with this energy is not to become obsessive about one particular idea, and certainly don't try to force any ideas on others. If you feel the deep need to focus on one particular thing, that is fine, but try to keep some perspective or write down all your deep revelations so that you can reflect on them at a later time when you can be more objective and prioritize better. Okay, again, these things coming up from the depths of our soul or coming into conscious awareness from being unconscious about it can be startling and disruptive. And again, it's lighting up this zone where we need to change something. And that's Monday. 2 days later, on Wednesday, the 24th, Uranus is going to retrograde in Taurus and doesn't go direct until January 22nd of 2023. Every year, this retrograde helps us integrate all the shakeups of that particular year. So how's it going in 22 for you? The silver lining has been more personal presence, being in the moment and in your body on the ground. That is the liberating ordeal happening as we learn what it means to really be a spirit in human form, surviving on a living, breathing organism. Change is the only constant, and there is nothing new under the sun. We are actually made for this, but patriarchy and Western culture have tried to strip us of our instincts and connections to Gaia. That will never work on those anchored in their hearts and souls and bodies. The years Uranus spends in Taurus, 2018 to 2026, are going to teach us how to be fully embodied, awakened stewards of the earth, which is more natural for our species. The personal planets will interact with Uranus in Taurus in a similar way every year, so we can consciously co-create with it every year. And its annual retrograde is a special time to assimilate the changes you've been going through. Uranus is a collective planet and so affects many people and takes 7+ years to accomplish its mission in each sign. It will awaken the Taurus department of life and stimulate any of your planets in Taurus, Scorpio, or Leo, Aquarius by default. Also, I'd say here and now is a good time to reflect on the liberating ordeal that you went through over the previous 7 years when it stimulated and awakened your Aries department during 2010 to 2019. How it felt as it moved through Taurus, because it will wake up our Gemini department next during 2025 to 33. Now that it's almost done in Taurus, you can start to reap the benefits and integrate the recent radical shifts that your identity and purpose have been through, and the focus and thus the lessons and blessings have now shifted to the physical values and priorities of Taurus that support the newly awakened emergent self, and how that works on the ground, in your body, on the earth, in real time. Then, as it moves through Gemini, it will awaken your consciousness and hopefully activate your unique genius and not more crazy. But we'll see. Probably a little bit of both. Right now, we still got a couple more years in Taurus. So I'm linking Stephen Forrest's Uranus in Taurus article here because it's pretty good, short and sweet, but a very good review if you've been feeling that one strongly. Now, that was Wednesday. On Thursday, the 25th, as Mercury enters Libra, again, this is the zone. We are in the zone of the upcoming retrograde now. It'll be in Libra until September 23rd, so about a month, because then it's turning back. Mercury's journey through Virgo, August 4th to 25th, has brought up how you truly process and integrate the information that you've gathered, along with all that you've learned in the last 3 months at a minimum. Whatever is up for you right now is where you should focus. It's time for discernment and discrimination. You will have to choose or decide which ideas are worth investing more energy, time, and resources going forward. You've been called to get organized and create space to anchor these new ideas and integrate them into the new rhythm that is emerging at this time. Mercury is going to move from processing in Virgo to restoring mental balance and equilibrium to your nervous system in Libra. We are reviewing our ideas, thoughts, and concepts in our Libra house so that we can find a better rhythm and healthier routine in our Virgo house. Okay, deep breath. If you change your thinking or want to make some new choices in the area of relationships, partnerships, and collaborations, then it is natural to expect things to shift for you as an individual, including at home and work too. This is a time to review your ideas, thoughts, and concepts about socializing with others, interacting with others, and how you would like to do that in a new and different way going forward. But first, you'll have to look in the mirror to discover where your own imbalances around your concept of relationship are rooted. Any Mercury retrograde is an upgrade to your mental body, and since we get them 3 to 4 times a year, it is good to get into the practice of taking some time to review that area of life and see what's been happening in the last 3 months specifically and where you want to be 3 months from now. So I've linked the digital download again because I'm basically including this note for the next couple of weeks so that people remember to check in with the Mercury retrograde goodies. So I'm very excited to offer this digital download class for this one. One of the things I think Mercury retrograde is best for is communing with your invisible team and working behind the scenes on something that matters to you. In this case, in your Virgo and Libra houses. So I developed a 3-part class digital download to honor both shadow periods before and after, and your custom Mercury activations will guide you through exactly what Mercury is touching in your own chart during the retrograde so that you can co-create consciously. There are also many other tools included, plus we will circle up on October 4th, and that always brings additional magic and possibilities. So check that out. And today, the 25th, as Mercury moves into Libra, we're going to do our Mars retrograde call. So that is going to be Thursday, August 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Donations are optional, but I really appreciate your energy and presence when you join me in these live events. This is our monthly community event that I'm getting back in the rhythm of. Those of you who've been with me a long time know for quite a few of my 20-some years, I always have a free monthly call that I offer to the community. So I'm getting back in that rhythm because we have some pretty big alignments that are special and rare and really good to co-create with. So I hope you can join us. And if not, just let me know if you want the replay. The next day is Friday, the 26th of August, when Venus will square Uranus. Now, that's a test to grow that we can't always plan for. You know, Uranus is always waking up things. So Venus rules your values and priorities, and an activation with Uranus signifies something sudden and seemingly out of the blue. Of course, this isn't true, but it can feel that way. The truth is, it is time to do something different where your love, finances, or relationships are concerned. Making a conscious effort to do things in a completely new way will be rewarded with a lesson and a blessing that you would have never considered. Due to the new revelations happening within you, the immediate response will come from those closest to you. If you're in relationships, personal or professional, that have reached a point where they have to change or end, this is a good time to try to discuss it openly and with as much detachment and objectivity as possible. This energy can provoke the need for excitement or stimulation in your relationships, giving you the urge to shake things up. But be aware and mindful of others' feelings too, because they may not be in the mood for such a sudden change. Another expression of this energy is to get things on the table. It's a great time to really discuss things and come to an agreement or compromise. Ultimately, this is the test of your flexibility in relationship. The more inflexible or attached to status quo that you are, the more disruptive this energy can be. Deep breath. So we're getting flexible. That was Friday. So Saturday, the 27th, Sun is going to square Mars, and we have the Virgo new moon. So this is powerful energy feeding into our new moon energies. This is a challenge about your energy and how to direct it properly. You started something about 6 months ago that now challenges who you are and what you want, so adjustments must be made. It's not a good, bad thing, just a test to get out of your comfort zone and into new territory. You are supported to get your true desires congruent with what and who you present to the world. As you develop that, often the first things that come up are what's not working. It may seem as if the universe, and a couple of humans thrown in for good measure, will be pointing out all your weaknesses, shortcomings, lack of preparation, and mistakes that you've made. Be careful not to take things personal, but keep in mind that if it's being brought into your awareness, you can learn from it. Keep self-preservation in mind and be compassionate with others struggling with their own identity issues at this time. This is energy that needs a positive physical outlet too. If you can channel it through physical exercise or an activity that you love, you may find that the moving meditation opens you up to better choices and more authentic decisions, while denial and suppression only lead to more disappointment, illness, or accidents. Deep breath. Sun square Mars. Now remember, Mars is officially in its Gemini zone, where it's going to be until spring equinox of 2023. So let's track this one and what Mars interacts with. It's kicking off with just you. The sun is you, the individual. But it's also our fuel and the energy and our source energy that we channel through our life force energy and our choices in the world. So it's all getting an upgrade. If we change our mind, our choices will change, then our world will change. It's all connected. But first things first, we go within. Virgo new moon is personal. Comes every year and presents us with the opportunity to reboot the system, your personal system, which often entails creating a whole new routine as well. Theoretically, during the last lunation, Leo Aquarius, we decided what we were going to express with more integrity and authenticity, and what we were going to invest in, self and community, with more energy and resources, because there are new values and new priorities at this time. Yeah, Venus is pretty busy too. Virgo time supports integrating all that you have learned about your core essential nature in Leo recently into a new routine and creating a completely new system for living that will support you better in the here and now. It's time to digest, assimilate, and integrate the last 9 months specifically. Also deeply supported this month is acknowledging and releasing any regrets, any mourning, or true losses or deaths, and deepening your dedication to that which is vital, strong, healthy, and evolving within and around you. So what's alive? Okay, we're clearing out the dead. We're doing some pruning of that which never took off or took off and stunted. We've got lots of creative projects that it's 50-50. Some make it, some don't. And we have to decide whether we're going to reinvest. At the same time, this personal Virgo new moon is about the pre-harvest assessments that we do every August, September. And they always reveal what does or does not support your physical and spiritual selves, that spirit in a human form. Twice a year, during February, March, and August, September, we have to take time out to check in on the physical body, Virgo, and the spiritual being in Pisces. Okay, so Pisces time is February, March, when we work on our spirit renewal and prepare for a new year. August, September, we check in with the body in Virgo, which has been working so hard for 9 months to create something and probably needs a little break or a little recalibration of some sort. If you're healthy, great. But if you've pushed yourself to the limits, it's time to pull back and recalibrate. We also have to check in with our spiritual being. If your practice is strong and supporting you, great. But if you've neglected your yoga or meditation, silence or sleep, then this is the best time to reboot the system and dedicate to a new routine. Okay, deep breath. As we approach the harvest for the year 2022, keep in mind that everything is a response to the last thing and preparation for the next thing. So as you connect to what you love and your authentic self in Leo, you shift to how to anchor that emergent self in your day-to-day life in Virgo so that you are individually secure as you move toward Libra. That is the time to cultivate relationship and or engage with others on some level. It is also a great time of year to address any imbalances in your life as we approach the one of two opportunities each year to tune into physical, literal balance at the equinoxes. So, deep breath. This is our pre-harvest before we get to fall equinox and we get to reestablish balance. So first we have to purify, then we restore balance, then we strengthen and fortify. There's an order that works for our physical systems that isn't that complicated, and yet humans complicate it. So tuning into your body and soul is very up. There are some definite challenges this week with Mars and Venus, challenging big things in the world, asking us to check in on a personal level with how we're interacting with the social collective levels. I'm excited to share these tools and to have this live event this week. So hopefully you all will join me on Thursday and reach out if you need to or if you need anything else. I hope you have a fantastic week. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.